Hello and welcome to For the Love of Nature, a podcast where we tell you everything you need to know about nature and probably more than you wanted to know. I'm Laura Fawks Lapole.
And I'm Katy, and today we're going to be talking about, just hear us out for a minute. Ugly and annoying animal babies.
Yes. I told my mom earlier today that I was going to be talking about ugly babies and then had to clarify that it wasn't human babies.
Listen, I need to tell you, this should be good. So we're going to take what we feel are the top ugliest / annoying animal babies.
Correct.
And defend.
I'm sure there really won't be any. Yeah, there really won't be any debate about this. Why are they ugly?
Well, I have one that could be. Two. I have two that could be debated. One is highly debated. The other one is eh.
Okay. No, I'm even more excited.
Yeah.
But to definitely give you a few chuckles, this episode was inspired by my own becoming pregnant and having a baby and being really afraid I was going to have an ugly baby. Thankfully, I did not.
So whenever we were planning for this season, we're like, man, we should do one on ugly babies.
Yeah.
Because it would be so funny. Just rank them. Like our ugliest, the ones that we feel like are the ugliest, most annoying animal babies out there.
So we're going to jump right into it. No nature news, just right on into ugliness. Or annoyingness. My first one will be annoying rather than ugly. So my first, this is not really an ugly baby. I mean, maybe ugly, but in an endearing way. It's really just annoying. And it is the blue jay.
Oh, man. Good one.
I think about this more often than you'd think. I'm just sitting around minding my own business in the springtime, and then I start hearing the blue jay babies and just thinking how annoying they are.
How honest are we going to be in this episode? Should we put a warning for children on this one?
Yeah. I mean, probably honest that, I mean, I'm going to say straight up what I think about these babies.
Blue jays are jerks.
They can definitely be. So, I broke my animals down into how ugly and then their redeeming qualities so that they can have redeeming qualities. How ugly or how annoying. How annoying are blue jay babies? Well, let's be honest. All altricial baby birds are ugly, which is the ones that are born helpless with no feathers. They're little pink squirmy things with gangly legs, nubby wings, skin-covered eyeballs, and a mouth far too big for their face.
Right?
So, pretty ugly. At least when they're first hatched. Are they the most ugly bird? No. But they made it onto my list because I think they are the most annoying, or probably the most annoying. They are very noisy birds that make a wide variety of sounds. Many of these are harsh, squeaky, and loud. If you've ever been outdoors in the spring when blue jays have just fledged, meaning that they just left the nest but still need fed by their parents, you will want to murder all of them.
Just walk around stepping on them. Is that too much? Just stomping them.
It is. The babies never stop crying for food.
Yeah.
It's just a constant annoying cry that I would think would drive any parent completely insane.
It has to.
Yeah.
It has to.
It's just squeak, squeak, honk, jay, like just constant. And there is never just one fledgling. There's always multiples. So I can't imagine being a poor blue jay parent with this nonstop, mom, mom, mom.
Just constant, yeah.
It kind of sounds like that. So, if you don't know what a blue jay baby sounds like, look it up. And then don't
just
play
imagine
it
that
constantly. Yeah, because it's awful. But, of course, all the animals that we're going to talk about have some redeeming qualities. I don't want to only rag on them, I suppose. So, redeeming qualities of blue jays. After their exacerbating fledgling phase. Wow, that's hard to say.
Fledgling phase?
Phase.
Okay.
Phase. Yeah.
I thought you said face. I was like, are you going to try and say that a blue jay is cute? Because they're really still not.
Not really. But I really like adult blue jays. I really like blue jays in general. They're in the corvid family, meaning they're cousins to crows and ravens. So they're really smart and they're really big into family.
But that's what makes them such big jerks. Not that they're really big into family. That they're smart.
Yeah, it's that, the mafia.
Yeah. No, it's that they're smart.
They're really smart. And, I mean, they do love their children, so I'll give them that, They're just very talkative and sassy, which I think is kind of endearing. And they are a beautiful blue color, which is my favorite color. I would invite a blue jay to my feeder any day. I just want them to leave their kids at home.
Just leave the annoying ones at home.
So, blue jay babies, probably the most annoying baby bird.
I don't know. It's funny that you brought up blue jays because my first one is uncannily similar.
Ooh.
So my first ugly and annoying baby is also a bird, and it's a robin. Because
very similar.
Very similar. It's just ugly. Okay. Again, like Laura said, I feel like all birds are just ugly when they're babies.
Yeah, so, except for like the little chicks and stuff that have actual feathers.
Yeah.
All those naked ones are
just creepy ones. So the American robin is a common ground-dwelling worm eater. These iconic birds are found pretty much all across North America and stay year-round in most of the U.S. If you haven't seen one, or if you're for our large international listener group, that we're gaining more and more international listeners, they're gray-brown on their back and most characterized by their rust orangish chest color and their stomach. They're about 10 inches long from beak to tail and weigh next to nothing since they're a bird. And when I say next to nothing, what is it, like 2 to 3 ounces? Like, it's really nothing.
Probably,
like, you could break these birds easily. Not that I'm suggesting you go out and start snapping robins.
Oh my gosh.
Band name, Snapping Robins?
Yeah.
Definitely
band name.
Definitely band name, Snapping Robins. But you could easily snap a robin. Like I said, they're typically seen eating worms on the ground, but they also eat snails and even fruits like chokeberries or juniper berries. As far as conservation status goes, these knuckleheads are definitely of least concern. They're every freaking where. We don't need to conserve them at all because they are just, there's too many of them, if anything. Yeah. But they're also known as pretty big spreaders of West Nile virus. So,
wow, did not know that.
But to quote Michael Scott, you can't get diseases from a bird, so you should be okay.
Not true.
Yeah, I'm not sure how you get West Nile from a robin unless it was like directly from it. Right. Yeah, it would have to be a mosquito. Anyway, that's not the real reason why we're here, is to talk about disease spreading, but
disease-ridden robins.
Disease and
that's
snapping.
The album name.
Yeah, for Snapping Robins, the band. So let's talk about their ugly babies. So in springs, males attract females by singing, raising and spreading their tails. I mean, why wouldn't that get a woman? Shaking their wings.
Shake your tail feathers, yeah.
Right? Shaking their wings and inflating their white striped throats. When pairs are forming in spring, you may see the display in which male and females approach, holding their bills open and touching them. It's weird. Anyway, they lay 3 to 5 eggs and up to 3 broods per year.
Whoa, that's a lot.
Which is more than what I was expecting, but I looked it up several different places, said the same thing. 3 to 5, which I was like, okay, 3
just
to 5.
Them out.
Yeah, and it is 3. However, only about 40% actually survive, probably because of how annoying they are. So why are they annoying? It's very similar to the blue jays. The babies hatch about 14 days after the egg is laid. So you literally just get done shoving an egg out of your cloaca and not even have rest time. Boom, hatch, cracked open. Here comes first annoying one. Yeah. Again, 100% helpless pink little creatures that are just screaming at you all the time. Yeah. And the only way you can temporarily quiet them for the first 5 days is to throw up in their mouths. Yeah. Which, on a side note, and maybe it's just because my kid and it's weird. When he was little, well, I mean, he's 5 now, so he's still young, but maybe like around 3 years old, I used to tell him about mama birds, and I would like pretend to throw up in his mouth, and he would laugh uncontrollably because he thought it was so funny. It is both mom and dad that will throw up in the baby's mouth.
There's an SNL skit where they do that.
Oh, really?
They do regurgitate into each other's mouths.
I'll have to look that up. Horrible.
Gross. Yeah.
Anyway, so after the first 5 days of parent vomit, and there ends up just being a worm massacre. So then go from vomiting to a worm massacre because they just bring worms back to nest and just rip them to shreds. But
Yeah.
all the while, they're still just screaming. Constantly. And I forget. I thought I wrote it down.
I just don't think that their sound is as... It's the harshness
not as
of a blue jay.
Yeah, it's not as harsh. It's just constant.
Relentless.
Yeah. I thought I wrote it down, but it was something like 100 trips to the nest a day per parent or something like that.
I believe it.
Like, it's like an insane, like how more parents just don't die off is beyond
or leave and
me.
Never come back.
Yeah, just like, I'm done.
I'm out. Yeah.
Bye. Yeah, because it's like 100 trips and you figure down, back, down, all day.
I think a lot of people, I guess I could have mentioned this with mine because it's just another annoyance of a baby bird, is that the parents take away the little fecal sacs.
Yep.
So their babies poop in little packages and then they have to take that out.
Yeah.
Like a little diaper and throw it out of the nest. So yeah, you're regurgitating into their mouths, you're bringing them food, you're taking away their poop, all while they're yelling.
And, like, when they have time to eat, like, I mean, whenever you have an infant baby, it's tough. But, like, I don't know when they actually have time to eat. Like, or sleep. Like, oh, my goodness.
Although I felt that recently. Like, I almost tweeted, like, you're a mom when you're eating in the shower.
Yeah, right. Because that's the only time you can. I'm a full advocate. The number of times I've, like, bought myself an ice cream sandwich, which I actually think I have some downstairs. That sounds really good right now. But that I've snuck into the pantry to eat snacks, like by myself in quiet. I am 100% one of those moms that have done that. And I have no shame in admitting that because sometimes you just need a break. Yeah. Like, just gotta get away from that tiny human who I love so much because he's 100% like me. But anyway, yeah, so just very similar to Laura's first one. Hopefully all of ours won't be very similar, but
yeah.
Super annoying. Way too many trips up and down. It's just, I mean, it's a baby bird. They're ugly in general. Super annoying.
Although I do think that there is a phase, like once they fledge, maybe not blue jays because their beaks are always too wide for their faces, but robins get that little Einstein feathers going on.
It does,
where
it's just plucked everywhere. So it's like a cute ugly.
Yes.
It's a cute ugly.
Because they look grumpy with their big mouths and their Einstein hair. It's cute. Alrighty. That was a good one. I agree. They are definitely annoying. Okay, then the rest of mine aren't really annoying. They're just ugly. So, I'm going to keep on the bird train here and just keep ragging on them. This is my only other bird, and then we'll move on. I am a firm believer that barn owlets are hideous.
Really?
Okay. Yeah, and I think this one's controversial.
I think it is. I think it is too. My next one's pretty controversial, but this one I could be swayed.
Well, here's how I feel about them.
Okay.
So like I said, I think quite a few people would argue with me about calling any kind of owlet ugly.
I don't think it's
all owlets. It's these ones in particular.
And I don't think I would use the word cute to describe them either. So it's not that I would say that they're ugly, but I don't think I would call them cute.
Well, I would agree.
Funny.
Like, funny looking.
Yeah.
I would agree that with people in that they're not ugly. I would say that they're terrifying.
They are.
So barn owls already have a creepy face, in my opinion. But picture that face on a gangly, half-naked body, and it's too much.
because they're not as fluffy. Do you talk about their legs at all?
They are all legs when they're stretched out. Like, it is just a pair of legs with a terrifying face on top. They have a skeletal looking face, a beak that looks like a witch's fingernail, and just the hint of white fluff.
A witch's fingernail?
A witch's fingernail.
I mean, I know exactly what you mean. But they are all legs. Like, it's
so
deceptive.
Creepy.
Like,
yeah,
it's deceptive.
Only when they start to get some more fluff, it gets easier to handle. But I think that they're ugly until they get their adult feathers. And then they're
gorgeous.
Gorgeously intimidating.
Yeah, right.
But gorgeous. Yeah. But the babies, no. I can't, like, people are always posting pictures of, like, owlets. And I think a lot of owlets are cute. Like, barred owl babies, so cute. But there's something really about that crazy skeletal triangular face.
Yeah. Also, because so many people think all owls hoot, barn owls don't. They're screamers.
Like a woman being murdered.
Yeah.
So, yeah, a baby owl, like a couple of those. Can you imagine, like, you go into a barn at night and you are confronted by... they actually think that the legend of the banshee came from the barn owl.
Yeah. Let me try to look it up here.
Banshee screaming at you, and it's this skeletal looking something. Maybe it's a bird. You're not even sure because it doesn't even have feathers yet.
Marshall, hang on. Yeah, I feel like if we explained it, people just wouldn't believe us.
Yeah, because it...
That is straight up.
It's the ring raids from Lord of the Rings. But, oh my gosh, it's just a lot. And
I remember the first time I was working at the zoo and I had to catch up a barn owl, because I've heard them, but I
had never heard one in the wild.
Like it also didn't help that like we were catching up one of the most dramatic barn owls that I've ever worked with, or most dramatic birds, for crying out loud, that I've ever worked with. You would think that we were murdering her because of that scream, and it's horrible.
Yeah. So ugly, terrifying, bone-chilling shrieks add to their overall creep factor.
It's the legs for me, though, because it's like...
It's that fingernail beak for me.
It's the long little... Because they almost have, like, chubby thighs, too. You know what I mean? But it's like fluff. It's not really like thighs. It's like fluff thighs. So they have, like...
little drumsticks.
Yeah, yes. It's like tiny drumsticks. Maybe I'm just hungry or something, but...
So yeah, I think that they are terrifyingly hideous, and I'm not afraid to tell them, although they do have probably the best hearing in the animal kingdom, so I'm probably shouldn't say that loudly for fear of their family members coming after me. Yeah. So yeah, and I guess, real quick, I didn't do much natural history for any of mine. Barn owls can be found all over the world, so even our international listeners should know what a barn owl looks like.
They're white.
Creepy looking owls, that's what they are. Redeeming qualities, I have to give them a few things. Although these little birds might start out creepy, they are an incredible bird. They are believed, like I said, to have the best hearing in the animal kingdom, and which means they're able to find prey in absolutely lightless conditions. So they don't need to see, only hear. They're also incredible nocturnal hunters, besides just their hearing. They silent flight, all the good owl stuff, and it makes them be super efficient. A family of barn owls, which is usually like 2 parents and 3 terrifying babies, eat about 1,000 mice each nesting season, making them the ultimate form of pest control.
Which is a fun fact for them. I mean,
1,000 mice. That's a lot.
That is a lot.
For just one season. Yeah.
It is.
So, although they might be scary, you should probably have them around.
I don't even know if scary. It's just, like, funny. I would probably say the babies are, like, funny weird. It's the legs. Like, I can't get over how long the leg... Like, to me, it's like the first time I realized how long a penguin's neck is. Yeah. Like, it just cracked me up. Like, I could not stop
TikTok
laughing.
one. Did you send me that TikTok with the rabbit tails?
Oh, yeah. Like, how long a rabbit tail is. Yeah, right? It's not just, like, a little cotton ball in their butt. Like, it extends out. You just gotta... Yeah, no, it's like a long little tail. Like, a legit tail. Okay, so my next one is also... it can be swayed, but I'm talking about this one, like, when it is born...
Okay, I have a couple like that, because there are some that get real cute later.
Okay, this one is definitely one that is real cute later, but ugly when it's born. And there's kind of like a theme that Kim picked up on with my animals, so just...
Okay, I'm interested.
Keep it in mind, you'll figure it out.
Okay.
Alright, my second one, wombats.
Okay.
So, found in far southeast Australia and eastern Australia up into central. They live in a variety of habitats depending on where it's located, depending on where the range is. They can go anywhere from wet, deep forests to open, dry grasslands. It all kind of depends. So, wombats, they have coarse fur and short, round ears. Again, an adult wombat, I think, is adorable. Yeah.
Yeah, chubbers. Little chubbers.
And they can vary based on the different subspecies, because there are 3 different subspecies. Although wombats do look very cute and cuddly, they can have a short temper and become very aggressive if they feel threatened. And which is funny because they're tiny tanks. Like,
yeah, it reminds me of our version, I guess, of like a groundhog. Like, kind of cute and chubby until you piss him off.
And then it's murder tank.
Yeah.
Because they're just over 3 feet long, but they don't look it because they always run like compactly. You know what I mean? Like, they're 3 feet, but it's like
hunched.
Yeah, it's like 3 feet, but that's 3 feet if you're like picking them up and they're like all spread out. Anyway, but up to like 88, almost 90 pounds, which is
dang.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're tanks.
Yeah.
There are 3 subspecies: the northern hairy nose, the southern hairy nose, and the bear nose. Why the wombat noses are so important?
It's the only difference between them, maybe.
Apparently.
They all look identical except for their noses.
Right? Well, I do know that, is it the, well, the hairy-nosed, okay, hold on. I think it's both the hairy-nosed ones have soft fur with much larger ears. I think it's the bear nose, which has much coarser fur and shorter ears. But anyway, so they spend about 8 hours each night grazing on their favorite food, because they all are nocturnal. And I don't think I said this yet, but they are marsupials, just like pretty much everything else in Australia. I really miss Australia right now. Amazing country. Favorite wombat fact that you can carry on is that they their poop is in the shape of cubes.
Yep.
Why? Because they scientists believe it's because they use their poop to mark their territory, and if they mark their poop with round poop, it would roll away. How?
Okay.
Which makes sense. How did they poop square? Cubes. The researchers say that the distinctive cube shape of wombat poop is caused by the result of drying out the feces in the colon and the muscular contractions that happen, which all form a uniform size in corners of square poop.
Yeah, but can you imagine passing a dry cuboid shape poo out?
No, thank you. But apparently the bear nose ones are really good at it.
Anyway, they're babies. How ugly are they?
So a baby wombat is called a joey because it's a marsupial. At birth, the joey only weighs about 2 grams and is about the size of a jelly bean. The joeys will just picture a naked, hairy jelly bean, or hairless jelly bean, which then crawls into the mother's pouch right after birth to finish developing. So they're not even developed. And I think that's what's weird to me is
fetuses. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a crawling fetus.
Ugh.
Fan name?
Another one.
Crawling fetuses. Snapping robins, crawling fetuses. Oh, we're getting some good ones. So yeah, it's a crawling fetus that goes into the mother's pouch and hangs out there for about 5 months before it comes out, and then it's fully formed, of course, at that point, but it's still completely hairless, naked, fairly helpless, and it's not, this one's not annoying. It's just, they're just ugly.
Just ugly.
Yeah, they're just ugly. And it also reminds me of a Sphinx cat, like that look, because I just don't like hairless cats.
I am a fan of them.
See,
only your mother could ever love you. There is a thing going around right now on the internet of hairless cats in wigs and clothes. No. It is one of the scariest things I've ever seen.
Yeah, no thank you.
But I'm okay with hairless cats. I think they're kind of disgustingly cute.
I just keep going back to that one episode of Friends where Rachel gets a hairless cat, and she swears up and down it says her name every time it hisses. And it hisses, and then you just hear it go Rachel. Yeah, but it's a naked cat, and it hates her, so she's trying to sell it, and she's out on the street with holding it with oven mitts. It's pretty funny. Oh my gosh! But anyway, so wombats, yeah, they're just ugly. It's a naked, undeveloped fetus of just crawling, and yeah, it's just weird.
Yep,
ugliness.
I will continue on that marsupial train because I chose one too. Because, yeah, any marsupial baby is disgusting when first born because of the fetus factor.
Because of another great one, the fetus factor.
Fetus factor.
That's a good one. Wait, what kind of music would that be?
The fetus factor?
The fetus factor.
Probably like
punk?
Grunge.
Yeah, like grunge
or
punk. Okay,
something like that.
Okay.
So mine is the Tasmanian devil.
Okay.
I just wanted to choose a marsupial that I didn't know a lot about.
Oh,
so
fun.
I just randomly chose the Tasmanian devil. Because any of them would have done. But I'm glad I chose them. Tasmanian devils, for you, those of you who are not aware, they live in Tasmania, which is a part of Australia. Used to live in a lot more places, but now only there. And they're like 2 feet long, can weigh up to 30 pounds. So they're not very big. They're not as big as the wombat. They're known to be, they can be fierce, earning them the nickname of devil. And they are carnivores and scavengers. So, how ugly are we talking here? Okay, so like I said, I kind of just chose a random marsupial because they're all gross and creepy.
They are.
But as I was reading, it got worse, okay?
It got worse.
Yeah, because I also was like, imagine a little jelly bean. No. That's the size for like a wombat, okay? This, I looked it up. They said to picture the size of a grain of rice, okay? So
That's
imagine
really
a fleshy grain of rice with nubbins for arms and legs.
With nubbins.
That crawls up into a pouch. And, Katie, they have 50 at a time.
Wait.
50 that crawl into their pouch. Well, they attempt to crawl into the pouch. The first 4 to make it and attach to the nipples are the only ones that survive.
What? How did I not know that?
I know, right? So I'm imagining this, like, creepy little
like
maggot
maggots.
race. Yeah. A swarm of fleshy, like, naked maggots crawling up into the, like...
How did I not know that?
Talk about brutal. Like...
Dang.
So, 50 born and race. And the babies, although this actually kind of makes them cute rather than ugly, but they're called imps.
Yeah.
Because they're devils.
Yeah.
So yeah, they are disgusting. They attach onto the nipple and they don't let go for 100 days, like creepy little parasites.
Yeah, which I believe that is an all marsupial fact.
Yes.
I don't think there's any
they
marsupials.
They almost like fuse on.
Yeah, which is disgusting in itself that it like...
Yeah.
Can you imagine if like you just had to walk around with a baby fused to your boob for like how many months? It's like... For those of you who can't see, Laura just shimmied.
It'll be so hard to navigate anywhere through doorways, just slinging your fused baby through openings.
I just picture like going into a store, like off clothes racks. Like shelves, just like taking everything out with this fused baby.
So gross. And I just imagine it being completely limp.
Yeah,
so,
right.
Because it's just like this limp. So, man.
That's an image. An image that's not going to go out of my brain anytime soon, and I'm so happy.
I know, agreed. It'll only get better and better. My own head will keep elaborating on it.
Of all the things that this fused baby's gonna knock over.
Or like the modified clothing that you'd have to have.
Oh, goodness.
Or the day that they're finally ready to let go. Like ripe fruit that just fall off.
That has to be such a relieving feeling. Like 100 like 100 times better than when you get home at the end of a long day and take off your bra. Like it has to be so much better. And then it just like bumps, and that's because you have to be like ready to catch it.
So I'm just imagining again. You just brought up the store. There's just you're shopping. You don't have a baby attached to your chest, but from a couple aisles away, you just hear, oh, and then a thump, and you're like, oh, kid must have dropped. Just.
We humans could evolve to be so much cooler.
Oh man. Okay. As I'm crying. The redeeming qualities of the Tasmanian devil. Well, clearly having attached fetuses isn't as bad as it could be.
Right?
But
jeez.
The good news is about these guys is they get really cute fast. If you look up baby Tasmanian devils, they're so cute. They're all head and mouth. So as a marsupial, the young devils are then called joeys. They are so cute in that when they these animals, when they are trying to be intimidating, right before a fight, they sneeze really loudly. Like, that's what they do to intimidate each other.
I don't know. I was going to say, if you've ever heard my sister sneeze, it is pretty bad. Ask her husband. Yeah, it's so loud because it's like a and it's a little much, but
it could have been a Tasmanian devil,
right?
I'll
let her know.
They are important scavengers because they clean up carcasses. They're like vultures in that sense, which is why they have such strong jaws and sharp teeth.
Well, I mean, not anymore, but...
yeah. Unfortunately, they are an endangered species, and one of their biggest threats is something called devil facial tumor disease, which is a fatal disease that is devastating an animal already only found in one place on Earth. So...
And I said about the jaw because typically they get it. It's like a cancer of their jaw, and it just like disintegrates their jaw, and yeah, that in itself is disgusting.
Yeah, but yeah, so gross Tasmanian devil babies.
That was a good much needed laugh.
I know, me totally.
All right, next one is naked mole rats.
Okay, absolutely agree. They never get cute.
Nope, never. Wikipedia, though, starts off with the naked mole rat, also known as the sand puppy. I've never...
No one calls them that.
No one. Okay, we've been in the zoo field were in the zoo field for how long? Never heard them called sand puppy.
If somebody did refer to something as a sand puppy, I'd be really excited to see what it was, and then really disappointed when they showed me the naked mole rats.
Like a fennec fox is what I would... You know what I mean? Something like that. Like something cute. No, not a naked mole rat. Anyway. Ugh. But calling it a puppy, it doesn't make them any cuter because babies or adults alike hideously ugly. It's
moving scrotums. Like
basically.
Yeah.
It's a rat that is naked. So that's how to describe it. Everybody's seen a rat. Now make it naked. That's a naked mole rat.
Now make it naked.
It's a naked mole rat. They're found in Eastern Africa. However, unlike other rats, these ones can live for up to 30 years. Why does something that naked and little have to live so long? Beyond me. But I did come across an insane fact that I did not know about the naked mole rats. And, okay, maybe it's just me. The skin of naked mole rats lack neurotransmitters in the cutaneous, like sensory fibers. And as a result, the naked mole rats feel no pain when they are exposed to acid or capsaicin.
What?
Yeah.
So they're just numb all the time now?
I don't know. But they don't...
They have hairs. Maybe they have, like, sensory hairs. Like, just enough sensory hairs. Because otherwise, how would you navavigate the world? Like,
well, they definitely have whiskers. That's, like, the only thing that they have. I don't think they have anything around their body.
I don't know.
Do naked... rats. Because I looked this up on a few different things. It's because of the tunneling, is what this one says.
Gross.
So because of the tunneling and the they lost the painful sensitivity to heat, that follows injuries in humans and other animals. They don't feel it because of the tiny alterations that basically sense pain. Yeah, so just they don't have it. Which I had no idea. I mean, it doesn't make them any.
Never heard of that.
Doesn't make them any cuter or cooler, but still. Okay, so they live naked mole rats, and they also live in large colonies with just one breeding female called the queen.
Yeah, I didn't know they were eusocial, which is freaky.
Yeah, it is freaky. So the queen is the only mole rat to produce offspring, and a single litter averages 12 to 28 pups, which is crazy. Yeah. Queens live from 13 to 18 years and are extremely hostile to other females, behaving like queens or producing any of the hormones.
Behaving like queens.
Yeah, or if they start producing any of the hormones to become a queen. Reproductively active female naked mole rats tend to associate with unfamiliar males, usually non-kin, whereas reproductively inactive females do not discriminate.
Huh.
Yeah. So, which I mean makes sense. So if they're reproductively active, they know to associate with non-kin. However, if they know they're not able to have babies, they don't care.
All bets are off.
Yeah, right? Well, I mean, if I can't, yeah. Ugh. Anyway, they're just gross. A newborn pup is about the size of a jelly bean. Again, naked jelly beans.
Yeah, gross.
They have a gestation of about 70 days. The colony as itself, will take care of them, move them around because they don't typically stay in one area. They're naked mole rats. They have colonies and tunnels, and so they're constantly moving, and the whole colony will move the babies with them. They'll nurse for the queen. Now remember, a litter is 12 to 28 pups. And they'll nurse from the...
Does she have that many nipples?
I don't know. Well, I mean, it's kind of... most rats do have large litters. I don't know how many nipples they have.
Yeah. Must have
let me finish reading, but Google how many nipples a rat has.
Okay.
Things you never thought you'd have to Google. So they'll nurse from the queen for about a month, but they may start sampling, which I thought was really funny. So that may start sampling solid foods in about 2 weeks. Wow. So they, it won't be on their full diet, but about 2 weeks to start tasting it. Pups also eat the feces of other workers in the colony, which does help their digestive system and ends up giving them better fauna. So so just ugly. Look up a naked mole rat again. Rat, make it naked. It's gross.
12 nipples is the answer, but only naked mole rats are an exception to usually species have something about the 1/2 rule of nipples, how many nipples per offspring.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
But they are the exception.
Interesting.
12 nipples to feed up to 28 pups.
Well, there you go.
The more you know.
The more you know.
Well, actually, my next one is similar in its appearance to the naked mole rat, kind of. And mine is the echidna baby.
Oh, okay.
So again, this when it starts out we're talking firstborn. So an echidna is another Australian animal, and it is it's a monotreme, meaning that they're one of the only 2 types of mammals that lay eggs. So no surprise that from a process so weird comes a baby that's pretty freaky looking. I actually literally said it looks like a naked mole rat, but not, it looks like a naked mole, not to be confused with a naked mole rat. Okay,
so looks like a naked mole.
Yeah, just a naked mole. So if you picture
I was so confused because I was like, you mean like a mole on your skin that doesn't have hair, like a naked mole? That sounds like a mole. Continue.
Gross.
The animal.
No, the mole the animal.
The mole the animal, to clarify.
So a mole animal is it's got big front claws, a pointy little snout, and no ears. And so it looks like that just naked when they first come out of the egg. So their gray-pink skin, beady little eyes, big claws, chubby, prominent rear end, no ear flaps,
prominent rear end.
They do. They have a big old badonkadonk. And a long snoot. So with all their wrinkles, their head looks pretty phallic. Definitely.
It does.
Some resemblance. So we've got the walking scrotums, and now we have the phallic-headed echidna. In general, this animal really just looks unfinished, in my opinion. And in a way it is, because it still does have to grow spines. So when the tiny babies, they hang on into in a modified pouch, which I didn't know, and they lap up milk that she secretes.
Ugh.
Yeah, so no nipples involved, just secretion.
Secretes it, which is weird.
Yeah, which is gross. And then it will start to grow its spines. Once they grow spines, adorable. And with a name like a puggle, which is what you call a baby echidna.
Which is cute.
Of course it's going to be cute. Yeah. So they don't get their spines till around 2 months, so they're gross until then. But once they do, they become squeaky, chunky, spiny little creatures with a snoot just asking to be booped.
Snoot asking to be booped.
Asking to be booped. These spiky little anteaters, which is their nickname, has an amazing nose that can pick up on electrical signals from the insects that it eats.
That's crazy.
So it's just going around like with his little snout. It's one of the Earth's oldest surviving species, which I did not know.
What?
Yeah. Apparently they've been around for and I guess that kind of makes sense that like an egg-laying animal would
I guess
probably
fair.
be, I don't know. And unfortunately though, 2 of the 4 species are critically endangered. So poor echidnas. Some of them aren't doing so well. So terribly, terribly ugly babies, but become really cute pretty quickly.
Kind of cute.
Oh, God. They got a cute snoot.
They got a cute snoot. Alrighty, you ready for my other one? Yeah. This is completely different than what we've done so far, because I chose a fish.
Ooh.
The blobfish.
Come on. That fish is always ugly too. Like, just because it's a baby doesn't mean anything.
Exactly, because it's just as bad. It's the same thing as a naked mole rat. Doesn't matter what stage of life, because a naked mole rat baby at least looks different than a naked mole rat adult. I mean, they're still naked and ugly, but a blobfish baby looks the same as a blobfish adult. Like,
I'm totally looking at it.
They just have a smaller, nose. Okay.
That's hilarious.
So, 1. This has been voted several times the world's ugliest animal, and they're young are no exception. So you might ask, who voted it? So the Ugly Animal Preservation Society holds a yearly competition in which the blobfish have won several years in a row.
Ugly Animal Preservation Society.
Yep. It's run by, what's his name? Simon Watt? I think it's Watt. Simon Watt. But they do really cool things. It's like a comedy society. Like, they bring comedy to conservation, which is
essentially what we're trying to do here.
Exactly. So they have a nice combo. Anyway, so they hold a yearly thing to bring awareness to the ugliest animals around the world, to bring awareness because, again, things like pandas, which are fund suckers of money, they need to, spread that out a little bit. So blobfish...
This isn't real. These pictures can't be real.
There are a lot of fake pictures because, and I'll get into why.
Keep going.
So they're just ugly. A frequently asked question whenever I was Googling info about them is, are blobfish actually dead? Which I thought was funny because they are really creepy. They're only
actually dead?
They're only about a foot long, which is a lot bigger than what I was thinking that they would be. I don't know. They seem very tiny, but no, about a foot long. They're found off the coast of Australia and New Zealand, found anywhere from depths from about 2,000 to 4,000 feet below the surface of the water. And they are rarely encountered alive because they are just found at such depths, which is probably why our blobfish actually dead, because of how they look. So they eat whatever particles are found down there. Again, they're like a pink with a big nose, blobby, but
it doesn't look like a real animal.
It doesn't look like a real animal.
It's like a fake fish.
So it does.
But I did just find a real picture of a baby from on Twitter here from an Australia park.
It's still just as ugly.
Yeah, it just doesn't have the nose. You're right.
Yeah.
It's just minus the nose.
Yeah. And it kind of looks mucusy, kind of. I don't know.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's
looks
what makes
like
it
someone just
uglier.
like coughed it up.
It's
like your phlegm just became sentient.
Yeah. It has soft
sentient phlegm.
Oh, that's another good one.
I'm just gonna keep it coming.
Yes. So they do have soft bones and few muscles and lacks a swim bladder. Again, they live so deep. Doesn't matter. So because they are rarely found alive and found at depths so deep, scientists do think that they aren't so blobby and ugly when they're underwater. There's a theory that they, I don't know, like, I don't want to say stretch out.
The buoyancy, yeah.
Yeah, but it has to do with the depth and it doesn't end up looking so blobby. Oddly enough, though, I didn't know that the first one wasn't seen. The first one was seen in 2003.
What? That recently?
Mm-hmm. And
wow.
they lovingly named it Mr. Blobby, which is
Mr. Blobby. I'm actually they actually have pictures of what they look like down below, and they're not nearly as
it's weird looking. Well, the only ones I've seen what they look like underwater are like artist renditions.
Okay, but it's
what they think. It's not it's not so bad. But the ones that we see, ugly as all get out. So that was my second to the last one. Are you ready for your last one then, Laura?
Yes, I am ready. This is my doozy. This is the ugliest baby that exists on this planet, in my opinion. And it is the eye. Which, coming on the back of pretty recently our lemur episode, hear me out, Duke Lemur Center. I promise I am not only going to trash talk the eye. I'm just calling it out for what it is, and then we're going to talk about how amazing of an animal it is. So, how ugly are eyes? Eyes may make you question if there is such a thing as a loving God. Because they are so creepy, and their babies are even worse. So try and picture an animal that is a cross between a bat and a lemur. Now picture that
That's
animal.
Pretty good. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so that's in your head.
Okay.
Now take that animal, give it very little fur, buggy gold eyes, and fingers that would make Nosferatu jealous.
It's pretty accurate.
That's what it is. Seriously, these little guys look like the satanic version of a lemur. Like if you're,
they do. No, they definitely do.
God made lemurs and Satan made the eye.
Yeah, but there's all kinds of like folklore around it and stuff to support that. I mean, because they do look creepy,
terrifying. So if you've ever seen an image of an eye, if you have never seen an image of an eye's hands, Google it right now. One article I read called its one extra long digit and I quote, finger of death.
Yeah. And that's where
it has a finger of death.
Yeah. And that's where the folklore comes around, is that finger.
Yeah. So they're so creepy like Katie said, locals believe you can be cursed if an eye simply points at you. Or the other thought is that they sneak into houses at night and pick at the hearts of their victim with that finger.
Okay, that's a little bit much.
Can you imagine? All right, kids, night. Don't let the eye come in and pick your heart out.
Yeah, right.
Dang.
That's so harsh. I mean, I could see it being creepy if like it points at you, because to me, I think pointing is creepier than coming and like knowing that it would rip your heart out, because that I can at least defend myself against. Whereas pointing, you can't defend yourself against pointing. It's just gonna sit around across the room and just judge you. You can't defend yourself against that.
So and it doesn't help things that they're nocturnal, so they're seen in very poor lighting. And so all you're seeing is this terrifying creature. And there is no other way to describe the eye than the way I did. If you look it up, I challenge you to describe it any differently.
No, that was very accurate.
So and the babies, like I said, they're worse than the adults in the fact that they have even less hair, even more buggy eyes, and even bigger ears. So even though they look terrible, they are totally incredible animals. And doing the research for this podcast, I always learn so much. Like, I always know, like, some bare minimums about a lot of animals. I'm more of a generalist.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we're definitely
I love
generalists.
learning, like, the in-depth stuff. So here's about the ii. Hear this. So,
Hear this. Heary. Laura has an announcement.
So, unfortunately, this is my one animal that does not get better looking with age. It gets a bit more fur and it grows into some of its features, but it's still super creepy. So I know that this lemur gets a lot of hate based on its looks, which I just said are terrifying, but they are the best example I have of an animal that demonstrates that looks aren't everything. So why not? Their long fingers and giant ears are for tapping on trees and rotting logs, listening for sounds bouncing back, called percussive foraging, which is sort of like echolocation, but in a little bit of a different way.
But with a finger.
Right, like tapping along, trying to find, just listening for bugs. Once they hear the pitter-patter of insect feet or the slithering of grubs, they chisel through the bark with their incredibly strong teeth. So strong, they have been known to gnaw through concrete in captivity.
That's insane.
Yeah, then they insert that insanely long finger to fish out their food, which is able to rotate 360 degrees because it's in a ball and joint socket and has a specialized claw at the end.
That makes the finger creepier to me.
Oh yeah, it's definitely creepy, but also incredible. Like, it's got a mobile 360 finger with a hook on the end specifically for hooking out grubs. It's crazy. Okay.
I can't say it. You know where I'm going, folks. You know where I'm going.
I do believe
human evolution. We have failed. Continue.
Yeah. So with its, besides its specialized finger, they are incredibly intelligent. They actually have the largest brain-to-body ratio of any of the lemurs.
Really? Huh.
Yeah, so they're probably the smartest of all the lemurs. Unfortunately, ii are considered fatty, or taboo in Madagascar and are persecuted for this, likely because they look so scary. So, unfortunately, a lot of them are just killed right out because, for being considered taboo and potentially, like, putting curses, on people with their creepy fingers. But...
like, potentially putting curses on people.
Yeah. Hasn't been ruled out. Yeah. No, but unfortunately, it's really terrible because they are really cool animals that are incredibly specialized. And thankfully, our friends at the Duke Lemur Center and other conservation organizations are doing what they can to help out this endangered species because they are endangered like pretty much all of the lemurs, as we were talking about in one of our past episodes. And I know that the Duke Lemur Center does have several iis at the center, so definitely be sure to check out Duke Lemur Center once again. If you didn't already in our past episode for Lemur Day, check them out again. They got some really good pictures of iis.
Oh, they do.
Looking creepy, but cool. They are cool.
I would, okay, here's my thoughts. I would love, and Duke Lemur Center, hit us up. I would love to be pointed at by an ii, but at the same time, I am always one that I don't mess with stuff that I don't trust or know. So, just the fact that there's a possibility of a curse, I'm not gonna take that chance. Like,
yeah.
Nope. Like haunted houses, I will do fake haunted houses because crap doesn't scare me like that. Like, it is difficult to actually jump out and scare me. Like, I'm not one that gets startled very easily. Yeah. So I can walk through a haunted house, like a staged haunted house, no problem. However, you take me to, like, a legit place that's haunted and then start, like, whipping out a Ouija board and stuff? Nope.
The Ouija board's where I would draw the line.
Nope. I don't care what people believe. Just why would you take that chance and mess with that kind of crap? Like, just don't take that chance. So, as much as I would love to be pointed at by an ii, I don't know. I still think I would take that chance. Just to see what it felt like to be pointed at.
What does it feel like?
Like, does it feel intimidating? Does it feel creepy?
At night, I'm sure it does.
That's what I'm saying.
I feel like it wouldn't be very intimidating.
Just like...
Yeah, then it'd just be like, you...
Yeah, right. Yeah, what if it's like...
You
what
weirdo?
Yeah, what if it is really cute during the day when it points? At night, it's just the creepy pointing. Alrighty, my last one.
That was my last and best one.
Okay. Alright, so my last one, human baby. Now, hear me out. Hear me out.
I'm so glad you're ending it on this one.
Before I start, I will say I am a mother. I love my child. However, and this one we're just going to go completely ad-lib because you and I are both mothers, so I feel like we can both speak to this. And you're a very recent mother. Yeah. So there is nothing cute about a newborn baby. I don't care what people say. It is one of the weirdest. Okay, first of all, the whole process is weird. Yeah. They come out and they're screaming. And it's not like an annoying, but like clearly they're not happy to be here.
Yeah.
They're all puffy. Like, yeah, maybe after they get cleaned up and de-swell gooey. Some. Yeah.
Yeah, gooey
and just gross.
Sometimes they can be weird colors, like red or blue or purple.
I mean, Luke, whenever we had Luke, so I had a C-section.
Yeah, so he should have been pretty normal looking.
You would think. You would think. Yeah. So let me no, you know what? Let's get into this. It's biology. Here we go, folks. Luke, all right? He was over 8.5 pounds at birth. I'm 5'1", and before I was pregnant, like 110 pounds. Tiny person, tiny frame. All right? Luke was not coming out. Like, yeah. I would have been without modern medicine, I would have been one of those women that died in the old age. Like, there's no doubt. Because he was he was such a big baby. Over 8.5 pounds, which isn't that big. I mean, for me, it was huge. But he was like 22, 23 inches or something absurd. So
that's how big my baby is now.
I swear to you, I have to go back and look at how big he was, but I swear, I know he was more than 20 inches. Anyway.
That's nuts.
But you remember how big I was? You saw when I was pregnant. I was ginormous.
We actually looked up, can a baby kill you?
We did.
Inside.
Yes, which I don't recommend Googling on any work computers because it does not give you back. We wanted to know, if a baby could kill you from the inside, like could it punch your heart? Or could it like
he was ripping your intercostals.
Yeah, in between my ribs. So he ripped that, and then there's no healing that. It just continues to rip because that was probably like 6 months into it that started to rip, and so for the last few months it just continued to rip, and there's no break. It's just a constant ripping. So we looked at if a baby could kill you from the inside, like punch your heart or something. It can't, but didn't stop us from looking it up. So anyway, small frame, baby's got to come out obviously between your hips, and before the baby comes out, it engages, head first.
Yeah.
But because like he couldn't fit, there was no room. But it was like he would engage and then not, engage and then not. And so it was almost like suctioning the back of his head.
Oh, man.
I'll have to find a picture. So when he came out, he had an alien head. Like
a cone head, yeah.
Yeah, like
the longer a baby spends in the birth canal, yeah.
Yeah, and he wasn't even in the birth canal because
that's
he couldn't.
Crazy. He should have been perfect.
Nope, that's what I'm saying. Because it was like suctioning him out. It was like my body was like, get out of here. And it was like, nope. Just like back and forth. So it just suctioned his head. So he came out with an like elongated head. They thought we were going to have to put him under a lamp, which to me was, I thought they were joking whenever they were like, oh, look at his bilirubin. Yeah, his bilirubin numbers are a little low. Let's see how he is tomorrow. And if not, you'll have to come back and put him under a lamp. I was like, yeah, I was like, what? I was like, we're in what year now? Like, yeah, but no, they legit put your baby under a lamp. So elongated head, even though he was a C-section, they literally take him from my innards, okay, wrap him in a blanket, and is like, here, Mom, do you want to hold him? I'm like,
they didn't even ask me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
really?
Just plopped it on. There was there wasn't even a there was zero
well,
time.
to be fair, because I had a C-section and they give you the spinal block, they literally put sandbags on your arms. So that, because you like, they don't want you like twitching and like, because your body doesn't know what's like, what it can feel and can't feel, and so it'll send like electrical twitches, and so like your body will twitch to prevent that. My arms were like sandbagged down, so it's not like I could hold him. So it had to be like the nurse coming over to be like, "Here's your kid," and I like the picture, because I was so nervous, not about the birth process, about the spinal block, that I was like, as soon as the anesthesiologist came up, in case they had to like completely knock me out or something, I was like, "Can you give me anything to help me relax?" He's like, "Oh yeah, I got you." I was like, "Give me whatever you can without knocking me out." I was so relaxed. So relaxed. And you know me, when I get really nervous in medical situations, I just start cracking jokes because I don't know how else to cope in life. They all thought I was hilarious, or at least in my mind, I remember they all thought I was hilarious. And I was so relaxed. So all the first pictures of Luke, like beside me, he's all like swollen, purple, like, and like crying with an elongated head. And I'm like high as a kite, just over there, like, horrible pictures. But yeah, I don't know, man. Like, they're not coming out. They're puffy
aliens or potatoes.
They're
raisins.
aliens.
I've heard them described in many ways.
Yeah, give them a day or two, and they become the light of your life. But initially, from the canal or from being cut 7 layers deep out of my stomach, not cute. Not ugly, but I wouldn't say cute
I was
either.
really scared about, because objectively, I've seen some babies that I'm like, not a super
cute kid. Yeah.
So I was like, oh man, you guys all have to tell me, like, if it's not super cute, because I'm gonna post pictures.
Please be honest with me,
baby, and I'll spare you.
Which is hilarious now looking back, because your kid is so freaking cute and like expressionful.
Yeah, she does.
She does
do some crazy expressions. And when she was first born, she wasn't the characteristic newborn, and the nurse commented on it, because she's like, she wasn't red, she wasn't swollen, she wasn't purple, she didn't have a cone head, she had one little spot on her head, because she was really only, like, the whole thing only was a few hours, and so I guess she wasn't in there for very long.
Yeah, I remember it was quick,
so she came out pretty much just a baby.
She's like, hi guys.
Like, she wasn't all crazy and crimped up and all kinds of stuff, and the only thing about
Luke
her is,
was
she
ginormous.
Like, it was only squinties for a long time. She didn't open her eyes very much at all, which makes sense because you've been in darkness for, months and months.
Yeah, no, Luke came out like a wombat. He literally, like, when they pulled him from my stomach, first of all, and this might be too graphic, but when, all I remember is my doctor, who was phenomenal, he said, "We're going to try and get your kid out, but he is very big, and we might have to cut you hip to hip." So that's how big he was. And so she's like, "You're going to feel some light pushing." And the student nurse was literally on top of my stomach, like, cool, like pushing it out so that he could, like, and when he came out, because I mean, of course he had like a ton of hair, because again, my child, but my doctor held him up and he's like, he's a linebacker. And I kid you not, because my Reiss maiden name family, it's all very broad-shouldered men, like very short, broad-shouldered, like, and that is how Luke, was. Now he's like a skinny little kid, but because he's grown into it. I'll have to find some, like, I mean, he was cute. He was pretty really cute after. Again,
hair, man.
Give him like
a
day.
Baby in a wig.
The hair. It literally looked like somebody took a wig and just plopped it on top of his head. He had epic hair.
It didn't look real.
It didn't look real. No, it did not look real from very early on. Anyway, so human babies, give them a couple days and they are all adorable. I love, like, my nephew, my sister's kid is so freaking cute. He was really cute though at birth too, but I don't know. All right, everybody. Ugly babies and annoying
Look
babies.
them up. We promise that they are as ugly as we think. But just remember, ugliness is not everything. These animals, even though they are ugly as babies or even as adults, they still have important roles in our ecosystems. And I mean,
we need them.
Looks aren't everything.
Because remember, I mean, pandas are super cute and they're worthless.
Yeah.
So we're just
looks aren't everything.
We're just gonna keep attacking poor pandas. The Chinese government's gonna come after us one of these days for panda slander or something.
Panda slander. That's
another one. Such a good one. All right, everybody. Until next week.
See you next week.